It's what you're doing, making me feel like I'm falling.
I can't speak. Hello. For today's video, we're doing episode 8 of Draw Your Journal. This is my prompt journal that I wrote, and it is available now on Amazon for you to purchase and use if you would like. Before I wrote this, I was looking for a prompt journal that could be kind of like my diary, and I discovered that a prompt journal like that didn't really exist. So I decided to write it. The basic idea for this prompt journal is I like prompt journals a lot, but most prompt journals, in fact, every single prompt journal I could find, does not do what mine does. And I love those prompt journals, but what I was looking for is different because it focuses on you and your life. So Draw Your Journal is exactly that. You are drawing your journal entries. Every single prompt acts as like a diary entry almost. So instead of writing in a journal about your life, now you're drawing in a journal about your life. It's basically like an artistic way to have a journal. I love doing Draw Your Journal episodes because every page is about me. And I kind of get to share with you guys things about me that you wouldn't ordinarily get to know, like things that I've done recently, things I like, things I don't like, etc. So yeah, they're pretty special episodes. Let's get started on these pages. Okay, so here is my Draw Your Journal, and I'm flipping to the first page, which is Draw Your Hello. I never really did this page, and I feel like it's one of those pages you should probably do when you first start the journal. Of course, you can do this in any order, but I'm kind of envisioning this page as almost a Dear Diary, except in picture form. I've actually seen a lot of you guys filling out this page and using it to kind of document all the ways that you know how to say hello. For example, if you speak Italian, you might write ciao. If you speak Spanish, you might write hola. I only know how to speak English. I did take Spanish in school from kindergarten through 12th grade, and I used to know a decent amount, but I kind of forgot a lot of it, and I only really speak English. So instead of just writing hi or hello, I decided to think of the non-verbal ways in which I personally say hello. I noticed about myself that when I say hi to people, I usually go, hey, and I'll wave hello at the same time.
The woman was too stunned to speak.
Shocking, right? It's obviously extremely common to wave hello when you say hi. I'm not breaking new ground here. But I do feel like there are very specific scenarios where people will physically wave hello. And the most common one is when you're at a distance, when someone's kind of far away and you'll go, hey, and wave. However, if someone is right next to you and they're already within speaking distance, most people will not physically wave hello. That would be slightly awkward. What I've noticed about myself is that I wave hello regardless of the distance of the person. They could be very far away and approaching me, and I'll wave hello and be like, hey, come here. Or if they're 2 feet in front of me and I just say, hey, how are you? I'll still wave hello. And I don't say this to sound different or weird. I don't really care how common it is. Maybe you do this too. Maybe you don't do this ever and I am really weird. I don't really know. All I know is that I really wanted this page to accurately document how I say hello. So if you were to meet me in person, I genuinely would probably wave hello regardless of how far or close you were. When I'm doing my voiceovers, I'm speaking to no one but a microphone right now, and I'm waving my hands around a lot. Even when I say bye in the voiceovers, I have found I physically cannot say bye without waving at the same time to my microphone. So for that reason, I felt like the nonverbal cues on this page was very important for me personally. Most of you probably also wave hello. I'm not claiming that as a unique thing about me. Obviously, waving is very common. But who says we can't appreciate things that are popular? Enthusiastically waving hello to people that you know or don't know is a popular thing. I like it. That's why it's popular, probably. I mean, but who knows? Maybe you're the exact opposite of me. Maybe you're not a big fan of nonverbal cues. Maybe you don't like waving hello. Maybe you're more shy. Maybe you say hello in a different way altogether. However you choose to say hello is totally awesome, and that is specifically why I made the Draw Your Hello page. I just think it's really interesting when you meet a new person and how they first say hello. It's just an interesting way to see their personality. That's all I'm saying. Let's move on to the next page. Draw your animal. Draw Your Journal is intended to be a diary, so every prompt should be filled out from the perspective of it being something that's personal to you. That being said, the prompt, draw your animal, can be interpreted in so many different ways. Be creative, people. You could do your favorite animal. You could do your favorite stuffed animal. You could do your favorite mascot, like an animal for a sports team. You could do even your actual animal that you own, like the furry friend that's walking around your home. I decided to interpret it that way. There's a popular terminology going around where people like to refer to their favorite person as their person, like their husband is their person. I interpreted this page as my animal, my dog, Brownie. I mean, not everyone has an animal, furry friend walking around their home, but I do. And his name is Brownie. He's a dog, and I love him. I just want to take a brief moment for us to reflect on the concept of pets. Think about this. We take a random, furry animal, a literal animal, and we take it into our house, and they're just like walking around, just being an animal, furry. They're like, their whole body is fur, and we just let them live inside our house. They're just walking around like they're part of the fam. And if you really start to think about it, you're like, why are we doing this, guys? Like, my dog is like a wolf. We're just letting like a tiny wolf into our home. Isn't that kind of crazy? No, just me? So for the background, I decided to paint it a pink color. I felt like this was like it's like a purple pink, actually. It's like a magenta, a light magenta. That's what this is. A very pale pastel magenta. My color pencil drawings take a lot of time and effort. There's a lot of shading that goes into it. I spend like hours drawing these things, and by the time I'm done, I really don't have a lot of time left over to do the background in colored pencils. So I have been really enjoying taking some paint and just painting the background a solid color. It really gives it this pop of brightness that the page requires. For this background, I was feeling like it needed even more pizzazz. Just a little extra something something. I felt like Brownie's pose in this had a lot of movement to it, and I wanted the background to kind of reflect the nature of a puppy. I drew Brownie as a puppy, if that's not obvious. He is 15 years old right now, but when he was a puppy, he was very active and he would move around a lot, like puppies do. Right now, he's old, so he just, like, sleeps and has arthritis. But when he was a puppy, he would move around and have a lot of fun, and I wanted that to be documented in this page to really capture the true essence of Brownie. I think it's also important to note that Brownie is part poodle, and he has a very snarky energy to him. He's been described sometimes as having a cat-like energy, or being a cat trapped in a dog's body. My only goal for this page was to really capture who Brownie is as a dog. He has a very specific personality that I haven't seen in other dogs. Brownie's attitude is happy at times, but he also has this cat-like, snarky, sassy thing going on that I think is kind of related to him being a poodle. So I'm very happy with the pose that I put Brownie in, because I feel like it gives off a happy dog vibe, but it also has a little bit of a sassy walk to him. He has a little bit of a snarkiness to it, and that's just so Brownie. If you would like to preview Draw Your Journal, all you have to do is go to bellamena.com, click on the newsletter tab, enter your email, and I will send you 5 extra pages that are not included in the book, and you can kind of like preview what it's like to own it. Up next, we have the page that says, Draw your time capsule. Draw something that represents this moment in time. So for this page, you can interpret it in a bunch of different ways. You could try to make a time capsule of all the things that you like at this moment in time. You could do a time capsule of things that are popular right now, not necessarily things you like, but things that are culturally popular. Or you could do something that, in my instance, documents my progress on YouTube. So for me, I decided to create a time capsule of how many subscribers I have right now. And I know that this page is kind of specific to me being on YouTube, but that's okay because it's my journal. I've seen a lot of people on the internet drawing these giant number balloons in colored pencil form, and I'm always so impressed by those drawings. I always look at the balloons and go, wow, that really looks like one of those big, shiny number balloons. And I've always wanted to be able to draw that. So I looked up a tutorial online. I will link it below. It only uses the numbers 2022, so I really only was able to follow the tutorial for the number 2, and after that I kind of had to imagine what the balloons might look like. But I found it really helpful to watch the tutorial for the number 2 and kind of figure out how to shade things to make them look shiny. I am so happy with the way these balloons came out, considering it was my first time trying to draw shiny balloons using only colored pencils. I know that these aren't the most perfect balloons. I know they're not the most realistic looking balloons, but I think in general, I did a pretty much okay job. I'm pretty happy with it. If you guys have been following me since I started posting prompt journal videos on YouTube, you will know that I'm actually relatively new to using colored pencils. When I first started my Create This Book series, I think that was the first time I started using colored pencils in the prompt journals. I also have used it in my Wreck This journal, and I've also now been using colored pencils in my Draw Your journal. It's been around a year and a half, maybe 2 years of me using Prismacolor colored pencils. And I feel like this page is actually kind of documenting and creating a time capsule of my colored pencil skills and abilities at this moment in time. And I think it'll be interesting to kind of look back in a year or 2 years or maybe even 3 years and see what my colored pencil skills are like compared to now. Maybe I'll have improved, hopefully, God willing. To finish up this page, I took out my matte decoupage and sealed in the colored pencils. I also wrote March 15th, 2022 to document this moment in time. And here is what the final page turned out looking like. I'm really happy with the colored pencil balloons, and I'm specifically obsessed with the bunnies that are holding up these balloons and looking terrified. They're just floating away into the sky, terrified. Which bunny represents your personality most? I'm the pink one. And here are all 3 of the pages that I did for this episode of Draw Your Journal. If you'd like to see my other episodes of Draw Your Journal, I have them linked right here. And if you'd like to buy your own copy of Draw Your Journal, it is available now on Amazon. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye!